in the DNA, when they say there was many people were killed. This was a trial we deal with 200 people, 100 on Trovan, 100 on Josephine, which was the comparative. And out of this, only 13 people died. 6 from the Trovan and 7 from the Josephine, which was an already established drug. And then we gave when they were saying thousands, there was no way it was thousands. We produced DNA. In fact, even when Pfizer provided some relief for those who took the medicine, we found that nobody could claim because those who took the medicine have moved on. All the other pretenders, their DNA could not match. So what am I trying to draw attention to is that, do not be afraid of accusation. People are going to accuse you for anything, rightly or wrongly, but make sure they can't prove it. Any time in life, they will accuse you. You have done nothing, maybe because you're successful, they're jealous, they can't compete with you, probably look for accusation. Don't worry. Don't lose. Just be sure that whatever you're doing, have the appropriate documentation, because evidence must be provided. Even if a court sent you to jail, when you haven't done it in the appeal court, the Supreme Court will bring you out. That's a lesson there, and I want people to learn. Be deliberate in what you're doing and put the proper documentation. You never know when it will arrive. I used it in Shopee. When the federal government was saying, after Buhari came, who were saying, we've lost, Shopee money was lost. And they invited us to the National Assembly. I brought the documents, which I had put in a book. When they saw the book, they said go, and that was the end. Then, of course, you were asking about the kind of things we were doing subsequently. I moved on pro-retirement into Sophie, which was a way of giving back, and my pet area of entrepreneurship. Because I've always believed that is what is going to bring salvation for the young people in this country and also for the nation. As many more people that can be self-employed, creating wealth, then the country becomes a good place to live in. I mean, look at what you're doing. Look at the people you're employing, and you started early in life to become an entrepreneur, even if you worked for anybody at all.
I worked 3 years ago.
So that is the way it is. And so it's my pet. It's still growing up. But when I now formed the New Nigeria Group, which was my political organization, that I didn't put too much focus on. I'm returning to it now. That took my time because I had always been disturbed about our country and its chronic underdevelopment, its lack of competitiveness. I had become tired of being told that I come from a third world. Since I was born 70-something years ago, I'm still a third world nation. I'm saying, when are we going to become first world? Especially when other countries have become self-world. That first world, that one led me to the New Nigeria Group, and then eventually became the platform for me to try my hands in the presidential primaries of 2022-2023. It was a great lesson in understanding Nigerian politics. But it's the same courage that I have come with. I mean, people were surprised. I hadn't been governor, I had been the senator, I hadn't been nothing. The first political attempt was to be a president. I mean, it was, you must be a joker, but we went through it. We went around the country. So first you must have what you believe in, and then you must have the courage and the conviction. And it's goodwill. I have not, you have worked at least for government 3 years. The other time you were working for NEMASA, so you have a bit of experience. Yes. I have never worked for government, but I've been close to the public sector. I've held, I've been a board chairman of teaching hospitals, of polytechnics.
And then the Shopee.
I've served, even before the Shopee, I've been in the National Health Insurance, National Manpower Board, I've served in several boards of the government, so I'm familiar. Then, of course, the ESG interaction, the public-private sector interaction, also gave me an opening to really understand and know what the issues are in the country. So I'm still committed to doing what I can to help our country become a better country, because we have no other country.
Right.
But I'm doing so from where I stand, because I believe that I may not be president, I may not be governor, but where I stand, I am the governor.
right.
I am the president, starting from my house to the concentric circles where I influence. So I try to model that Nigeria of our dream. And that is why I spend a lot of time with young people who I believe will continue the battle. You talked about succession. I'm a man with always a view that we're going to be here just for a while. So what are you taking away and what are you leaving behind? And one of the greatest things I have said, and I keep saying, the greatest legacy is not in buildings. The greatest legacy is in human beings. What you have said about me today, I don't know how much I'm going to pay to a publicist to say that, or to give this unsolicited. And that is what life is all about. If I was dead today and you were at my graveyard or a tribute, what you say today will be what you say, perhaps with more embellishment.
Absolutely.
For me, that is legacy now. So I'm investing my time and energy, making sure I'm impacting lives, impacting institutions, and helping this nation to become a better place. No one man can solve all the problem. No one man can change the situation, but make sure you're making a contribution. And that's why I think I want to encourage you and people like you, never underrate yourself, never underestimate your contribution, but you must build a foundation. You should not come to this world and act as if you were a passenger or an observer. You must come into this world determined to fulfill your destiny. You have a destiny. You have a purpose. But it's in you to plan how that destiny, how that purpose will be fulfilled. You have to be intentional. You have to be methodical and trusting, and then learn from other people. It helps you to reach that goal and be what God has made you to be.
Wow, Mazi, what a finale. Because I was going to ask you a question. What words do you have for those who are seeing you at the top and want to also continue their journey?
Yeah.
But clearly, you should be a broadcaster. You're a broadcaster. I guess that journalistic bit of you suddenly came to fore.
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough, Uncle Sam.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today.
What an extraordinary start to the journey to the top. Broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio here in Lagos on the Achievement Channel. This episode has set the stage for what promises to be a year of limitless possibilities. Mazi Sam Ohabua's story reminds us that the very best way to predict the future is actually to create it. So as we step boldly into 2025, let this be the year that you take control of your destiny and climb even higher than you ever thought possible. Here's one last thought to carry with you. Every new year offers you 365 blank pages. So write a story worth reading. The top is not reserved for the lucky. It's for those who work, who persevere, and never stop believing in themselves. Thank you for joining us on this inaugural journey. I am Mr. Motivator, and it has been an honor to share this moment with you. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and remember, the climb is always worth it. Here is to a transformative 2025. Happy New Year once again.
A new day dawns, full of possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today.
Imagine a world transformed by the power of giving, where every act of kindness sparks another. These are the champions who dedicate their lives to change. Together, they are paying it forward. Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement. Here on the Achievement Channel.
Hello and welcome to Champions of Change on the Achievement Channel, the show that celebrates innovators and game changers making a difference in their communities. Today, we're shining the spotlight on the culinary world. Our champion of change is Alex Oke, a talented binational Nigerian-Russian chef, entrepreneur, and culinary instructor. As a chef owner of Exo Boutique Bakery in Lagos, Alex is fusing traditional French techniques with modern African flavors, inspiring a whole new generation of chefs. I am Pamela Egbo, and I'm excited to be with you today, live from our studios at the School of Eloquence in Lagos. Let's hear his inspiring story. Hi, Alex. Welcome to Champions of Change. It's really great to have you here.
Hi, Pamela. It's fantastic to be here.
So, tell us about your story. You know, you're an extraordinary chef, the founder of Exo Bakery, Boutique Bakery, and you are passionate about CSR, and that's why you're here.
Indeed.
So tell us a little bit first about the story of Exo Bakery.
Okay, great. Well, before I start with Exo Bakery, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Alex Oke. I'm Nigerian dad, Russian mom, but more or less raised in Nigeria. Trained as a chef abroad in Canada, and came back in 2016 to establish a neighborhood bakery, which I called Exo Boutique Bakery. Since then, the bakery has sort of evolved from a small neighborhood bakery into more like a cafe, and we have further plans to take that model even further and to expand into a members club, a co-working space, and a lot more restaurants. We want to create a sort of a lifestyle around the Exo brand. So that's currently what I'm working towards right now.
Fantastic. So I know that you're very passionate about giving back
Yes,
to the community.
Absolutely.
And I know that in at the Exo Bakery, you do a lot of internships.
Indeed.
So tell us about how that works and how that idea for you came about.
Sure. Well, great, absolutely. So we if anyone who's been to Exo Bakery will see that we have a few younger, generally as compared to most Nigerian businesses, especially hospitality businesses, a lot of my staff are much younger, certainly much younger, and I've actually gone through the route of vocational education.
Okay.
Right, so we don't always go directly to universities or to hiring companies, talent agencies. Sometimes we go directly to vocational institutions like Wave Academies, Lagoon, for example, and even the culinary schools themselves. What I've done is I've created a 3 to 6 month internship program where anybody who has either gone through culinary education and it's time to do what we call the IT, the practical training aspect of their course, then we liaise with those vocational academies. Then we take on young and very green individuals, where we train them in how things are done in a what I call a boutique kitchen, where everything is done by hand. It's not a commercial kitchen.
Right.
It's more of a sort of a very individualized offering, which means that they have to learn the intricacies of the baking and pastry arts as well as the culinary arts, but to a degree that I would say would be higher than say if they went to work in a commercial bread baking bakery, for example. So generally how it works is they come in, and after 3 months, we do a review. And then I usually offer them to stay on. I don't think I've ever had one intern who, after the 3 or 6 months, we asked to leave. Generally, we prepare a package for them, an employment package, where we hope to keep them employed and in the industry, you know, and want to keep them learning as they go, because I don't think 3 to 6 months is enough time to learn you know, the practical aspects of any arts, you know. So for us, it's very important that we keep them working. And along those lines, it's also important that we remunerate them for the work they do. Now, I know it's very commonplace in Lagos to have interns where maybe the intern even pays you. I've seen a lot of, oh my goodness. When I moved here in 2016, I've seen situations where the interns were paying for training, or they were just doing it for free. We actually pay interns in order to ensure that they can get to and from work, they can get home, they can get back to work, and we also usually include some kind of a meal package as well, too.
That's amazing.
Such that if a young person wants to learn the practical aspects of the baking and pastry art or the culinary art, they don't have to do it at a loss to themselves.
Right, exactly.
You know, and they are fed, they are, you know, comfortable enough to take on that new information and then kind of run with it. So,
yeah, and supposedly doing that the way you do it, it makes them take ownership.
Absolutely.
And responsibility.
Indeed.
That's great.
And we also don't have a program where we're lurking behind, you know, where I'm like the chef who's, you know, looking for the mistakes they make, you know, and trying to kind of beat them down. What we do is we allow people to make mistakes.
Right.
I believe that in order to learn, especially in the practical aspects of the baking art, you have to mess up a few cakes.
That's right.
A few loaves of bread need to burn.
Please bring those ones to me.
You know, you must make your mistakes, because when you make your mistakes, I feel like that's the best. Experience generally is the best teacher when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm very, very much in the group of people who allow young people to make mistakes so that they can learn. And that's also when interns come in, I usually tell them, don't be scared, don't be worried. I know you will burn a few things. Sure. I know you will mess up a few recipes. I know maybe you're not going to put the yeast in there and we'll be wondering why the bread didn't rise, even though we've waited for 3-4 hours, you know. But I believe that it is important that people make those mistakes, because when you've done it, you've made the mistake, I feel, with your own hands, you generally remember.
That's right.
You generally remember how to do things the right way after that.
That's
and you
amazing.
Remind yourself, well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So,
That's great.
And to give people the grace to make those mistakes without penalizing them, I think, is another thing.
That's amazing.
A lot of employers in Nigeria would, when their staff, you know, make a mistake or maybe ruin a big batch or something, they might penalize them and duck their pay or stuff like that.
Yes.
I don't believe in that. So I think we need to give everyone a bit of grace, you know.
Love it.
Nigeria's
Love
had
that.
enough already.
Absolutely, love that.
So
love
yeah,
that.
so let's be nurturing to our young people.
Absolutely, amazing.
Especially since, you know, the youth unemployment is
at a
so
high
high
rate,
right
of
now.
course.
So it's important that we keep as many youth employed as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Indeed.
That's great. So tell me, I know that, you know, like I said, paying it back is very important to you.
Yeah.
You recently contributed or got involved in an initiative called Paying It Back to the Streets?
So
back to the streets.
yes,
That's
exactly.
it.
So it's giving back to the streets.
So what's
So
that
this-
about?
Thank you for bringing that up. This is the second year running. So it's actually started in Port Harcourt, actually,
Okay.
the initiative, the person we work with. But this is the second year running that we've actually done a charitable contribution to this initiative. This year specifically, I know that they were trying to raise money to buy shoes for indigent and homeless and those who are, you know, less fortunate. In Makoko, which is very close to us over here. You know, my bakery is located in Victoria Island.
In terms of looking for the types of organizations that you support,
Right.
or doing your own thing, what is it that is important to you?
Criteria. Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So I think balancing corporate social responsibility and profits, they run in line with each other. Most people think that it's one or the other.
Right.
I think by focusing on CSR, it impacts the bottom line in a
That's
very
it.
positive way.
Right.
Absolutely, there are benefits, financial benefits. I think a firm can draw from giving back to society. I think whether it's with ongoing training where you're adding value to the youth, so over time you've provided a level of education support for a good number of young people over time. That in itself adds value to what your business does through the experience they get. Over time, you're entrenched in the society.
Right.
And then when you're a community-based organization, even though you might be profit making, you're just part of the community.
Right.
When we opened Exo Bakery, the idea was to have a community bakery,
Right.
where people would come and it would be supported organically from the ground up.
Yeah.
We never sought any loans, stuff like that, to open the bakery initially. This was all the community essentially grew the business, from our first locations to these. So again, and CSR has been a part of this journey all through. So I think if you allow your business to grow organically, allowing the local community to support that growth, and you're giving back along the way, I think that you are going to see some financial rewards from that. And then it gives you more of a staying power.
That's right.
In the community as well too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll take a quick break now and we'll continue this amazing conversation with Alex when we come back.
Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement. Here on the Achievement Channel.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you forget your points? Are you shy and need confidence? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence.
The home of public speaking. Attend our 2-day practical training in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Champions of change. Paying it forward. Join us and be part of the movement. Here on the Achievement Channel.
Welcome back, and we still have Alex here continuing our amazing conversation. So Alex, tell me, I know you mentioned about youth unemployment earlier.
Yes.
And I know it's an intentional strategy of yours because the level of youth unemployment in Nigeria is at an all-time high.
Around the whole world, actually.
Around the whole world,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
especially in Nigeria.
Right.
And so tell me how you have mentioned, but could you expand on that a little bit? But also, what advice would you give businesses to take a
Right.
chance on these young people? Because one of the things that you said that struck me was you go through the vocational route.
Yes.
Because I know that a lot of places in Nigeria, they want to see the CV, they want to see the your what they call it, your qualifications, and it can put people off and scare people off from applying for these roles. So what advice would you give, and how has it benefited your business?
Great questions.
Yeah.
So yes, as you mentioned, youth unemployment is shockingly high around the world. It doesn't matter where you go, you see young people just on the streets. And it's particularly tragic, I would say, in Nigeria. I remember when I moved back to Nigeria after training in Canada, I remember just the number of young people on the streets, versus today, the number of young people on those very streets.
Right.
It's probably grown, I would say, 5-fold, 10-fold. And that's just an indication as to how many young people are falling between the gaps.
Yes, it's actually
right?
35%.
Right.
Unemployment rate.
Shocking numbers. So yes, so that means out of every 3 young people, 1 is going to be unemployed, which is quite sad. And how does that bode well for the development of our economy, for young people developing and honing those skills that they have or they are to get. For us, what we've tried to do is intentionally focus on hiring young people. Just intentionally focus on that. Whether it's from the front of house staff, waitresses, the barman, floor supervisors, to the kitchen staff, chefs, kitchen assistants, bakers. We deliberately try to go for younger people again, and through the vocational route. So when I get an intern from one of these institutions, what they'll usually do is say, "Oh, I have 2 people who are in the class after me, younger people from my school. They would love. I spoke to them about EXO. They would love to come and intern here." So it's almost like what I call a pipeline.
Sure.
It's a pipeline of people, of talent, of skill. And also I would like them to feel welcome. I would like them to feel like, okay, if they go to that vocational institution, there's a good chance that they can come to a well-known and established bakery, cafe, restaurant like EXO, where we are pushing the limit and doing things that you wouldn't necessarily just find anywhere, with a focus on quality, craftsmanship, and delivering a differentiated customer experience every single time.
Yes.
So yeah, for us, it's a no-brainer. If you invest in the youth, you will reap the rewards of that.
Absolutely.
And by virtue of what they are, the youth, they are young, so they've got a long staying power.
Absolutely.
I'd rather cast my lot in with the young people than with the people who have been around. Even though the people who have been around have more money,
Right.
It's better to catch them while they're young, and then you sort of instill these values in them at a young age, and then they have a much longer staying power.
That's right.
And then you are impacting society a lot more when you do that as well too.
And also they will have this jackpot mentality that people have. They will
Yes.
want to stay because they're
I can do it
thriving.
here. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Why go abroad when I can
Yes,
do it here?
exactly.
And you also want to remind them that, while the grass is greener, maybe your neighbors. Well, I say the grass is greener where you water it. If
That's
we're
it.
watering the grass here, it's going to be greener.
Yeah.
So the more of us who water the grass here,
That's it.
even if you've been trained abroad, you can come back and try to give back to the society. I think it should be better for all of us in the long run.
Absolutely. Great. So last but not by no means least, what's next for Chef Alex? And what other areas of CSR do you see yourself getting into?
That's another great question. With CSR, I want to eventually open a training institution. I would like for us to
amazing.
expand to have a pure training kitchen, where even though we are working with vocational institutions to provide the practical training, I would love for us to actually have the vocational institutions as well too. That way we can extend more scholarship.
That's right.
More training to more people, impact more lives. But this is down the line. More immediately, I'm working to expand the EXO brand to a bigger location, to be a complete lifestyle brand, as I mentioned earlier, which we're currently in the process of doing right now. So watch this space. check back with us in 6 months to a year. We should have a whole establishment where we have a cafe, restaurants, members club, co-working space, an artist hub, because we're also interested in the fine arts as well too. So we want to provide a space where young creatives feel like they can congregate and they have an ecosystem which allows them to nurture their talents as well too. So we'd love to provide that. So that's the more immediate thing where I'm working towards. And by 2025, you will definitely see something in Victoria Island, and hopefully, maybe other parts of Lagos and Nigeria as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Chef Alex.
It's my pleasure.
It's been wonderful having Chef Alex with us today, and I am imploring everyone to go and support them. The NVI will put all the information about them and about what they do on our platform, and knowing that some of their profits will definitely go into doing CSR stuff. Thank you, Alex, for sharing your passion and vision. Your dedication to African gastronomy and community building is truly championing change. Tune in next time for more stories of innovation and impact. I'm your host, Pamela Igbo, and it's been a pleasure sharing this story with you. You are watching the Achievement Channel from our School of Eloquence studios in Lagos. See you next time.
Welcome to the maiden episode of Doctor's Orders, the Achiever's Prescription, right here on the Achievement Channel. And we are broadcasting from our studios at the School of Eloquence here in Lagos. My name is Ubon Isen. When I founded this channel over a year ago, one of the things that mattered the most to me as we focused on the quest to inspire people to become more successful, to achieve their dreams and to reach their potentials, had to do with health and well-being. And that was what led to the creation of this program, Doctor's Orders. And the vision of Doctor's Orders is to make sure that consistently there are prescriptions that can guide and support achievers on their determined quest to become even more successful and more accomplished. That is the essence of this program. It is very likely that after this episode, you might not be finding me on this seat anchoring this show, because on the Achievement Channel, we believe in experts leading the conversation, experts serving as anchors. And most likely, in subsequent episodes, you would actually be having two doctors, one as anchor and the other doctor as guests. And that's why this program is called Doctor's Orders, as they embark on the conversation about how achievers can keep their health in tip-top shape as they journey towards outstanding success. Because remember, in your body presently, that is the body you will be spending the rest of your life in. And your quest for success will also be determined by how well you take care of that body. When we come back after this break, I will take you further into what this program epitomizes or what this program represents, and of course, introduce our first guest. More to come.
Welcome to Doctor's Orders, brought to you from Achievement Channel.
Welcome back, Achievers. It's still Doctor's Orders, the Achiever's Prescription, and you are still watching the Achievement Channel. Now, this show is dedicated to helping high achievers like you. If you're an executive, a professional, you're an entrepreneur, an athlete, an artist, you name it. Remember, this program is not just about health. It's about giving you the tools, the knowledge, and inspiration to prioritize your well-being as a critical part of your success story. With that said, let's dive into today's topic. Dr. Daniel Olusegun Joseph, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
I know you doctors are used to giving orders. In fact, your prescriptions are like orders.
Right.
And it's a way of you saying to your patients that take this seriously.
Right.
Now I do have a couple of questions I want to ask you
right.
with regards to this very important subject matter. But let me start by finding out from you, since this is our maiden episode of this show, how important is health and well-being in the lives of the group of people that this channel caters to? Hard chargers.
Okay.
People who are driven by the need to excel, to achieve, who tend to, as you would know from experience, burn the candle at both ends.
Right.
How important is health and well-being, and how important or how more important are doctors' orders?
Okay, fine. Thank you very much once again for having me, and I must say congratulations for such a very brilliant concept. I mean, to educate people. It's very, very important and very nice. How important is our health? Our health is as important as our existence. There is no way you can lead a good, productive life if you don't have sound health. And it is very, very important to the point that, everything around you centers on it. You are here today because your health is up to par. If you are, nursing one ailment or the other, if you were in the hospital, you won't be here, I won't be here. So our health is a major driver, is a currency, really, for, our well-being. Number one, is a currency for our achievements. It's a currency for everything we do, really. And without a good health, without sound health, productivity will be reduced. Not only that, the chances of having, very high burden of, illnesses, high burden of costs in terms of trying to treat one thing or the other increases. And these are major things in our world. So how important is our health is as important as our existence if we want to make anything meaningful out of life.
So for those who are high achieving, who care about the need to succeed, those who strive daily to build things, maybe they have dreams that they are pursuing in their careers, striving daily to be the very best at what they do, whether it's building a business or pursuing their careers to the very zenith. And you get to meet some of these types of individuals, right, these A types, who care about excelling and being the best at what they do. We couldn't take this order or advice from you more seriously, it seems.
Yeah, fine. You can only achieve and excel if your health, is in agreement with you, so to speak. All right. So, if somebody is battling with a terminal disease, for example, and he has to go in and out of hospital, maybe for blood transfusion, for example, all right, or for chemotherapy or one thing or the other. Yes, he may really, really want to achieve, okay, and he may actually achieve some things, but he will find out that if his health, so this is extremely important with regards to high achievers. All right, if you want to really, really excel, your health must cooperate with you. And of course, you've got to nurse it well, all right, to make sure that you have a balance of the two, and then you can go for your goal.
So to a very large extent, optimal health can be seen as achievement?
Very well so. If you're nursing something that keeps cutting you down, keeps making you to cancel appointments and things like that, you want to go for example, you want to go for, a speaking engagement, and you wake up in the morning and your body says, oh, come on, I can't go anywhere. Or you start vomiting. You don't want to get there while presenting, you start vomiting. You've got to take care of that. You've got to call the people, call your doctor, and then call the people that you have appointment with. I'm sorry, I can't make this and this and this is happening to me. So, but if your health is, up to par, then you can go. You can deliver your speech. You can do whatever you need to do. So your health is extremely important. To shortchange it is to shortchange ourselves and shortchange our achievements, really.
So from your experience, do you find that a lot of very highly driven individuals shortchange themselves on health matters?
Well, I'll say that before it used to be, but with the increase in information, increase in knowledge and things like that, people are now beginning to find out that, look, I need to take care of my health. I'm sure that you have heard of cases of executives, high performers get to a place and slumps. I mean, you're in a board meeting and then you see this man that came in with, a whole of, health, so to speak, of life, and then before you know it, the person slumps. It's not only that the person slumps and dies, the shock, the horrors that it will send round the people that were there. I mean, it can only be imagined. The fact is this: I see, a lot of, executives and people like that, when they come, sometimes they call you and they say, please, I need to see you immediately. And you're like, what's going on? And when you eventually, have a time for them, and by the time they start, oh, this is happening, I keep having a headache, this and that and that, and then they will come out and say, well, I've just been driven to come see you because a colleague died yesterday, or a colleague died last week. We were just having a meeting and he slumped and died. And I'm like, wow, what's going on? I've been playing with my health all the while. So this is making people to get serious with their health. But we don't need to get there. You don't need to be prompted to seek, sound health, or to seek for advice with regards to your health only when you see a tragedy. I mean, we should be, we should take ownership of our health. Okay, we should take ownership. We should be responsible enough to be able to know how to manage our health so that wholesomely we can move on and, be the best version of ourselves. Again, there is this saying that health is wealth, and it's a long, and it's still there. Health is wealth. I mean, if you look at the rising cost of healthcare services, rising cost of drugs in our society, then you will know that health is really wealth. Okay, so to keep oneself healthy is actually one of the best investments that one can have.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And I have a statement here it was made by Benjamin Franklin. He said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Definitely.
He was an advocate for healthy habits and proactive wellness.
Definitely.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Definitely.
Meaning that it's far cheaper to prevent than to cure.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, the adage is there for everyone. It's cheaper. Prevention is better. It's not only better, it's cheaper, than cure. Right. So, I mean, it just laid it the way it should be. Right. I mean, it may be speaking to intellectuals, because I mean, an ounce and this and that for the very may not be able to catch it, but prevention is better than cure. That's just what they have said. And it is not only better, it's cheaper, and it's more rewarding.
It's more rewarding.
Yeah.
And then it makes me wonder why people, especially high flyers, do not take this to heart, and they elevate their quest so highly above their well-being, and forgetting that optimum achievement is indeed tied, from what you said so far,
right,
to optimum health,
right,
as far as we are concerned as human beings.
Yeah.
So what could be responsible for that? Is it that the need to be so successful becomes so intense and overwhelming that high achievers end up giving so much more of themselves without caring? Could that be the reason?
I think so. I think there are some people that, the passion of, I need to get this done, I need to do this, I need to achieve this, consumes them, and then, they just relegate their health. Some people feel that they are machines, in quotes, but we are not machines.
Superman.
Yeah, supermen and superwomen. Yeah, but we are not. We just need to tell ourselves the truth. We're humans. I mean, you go 4 days, 2 days, 3 days without sleep, or, just barely having 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep. And then you try to keep yourself active. You douse this, you take coffee, you do this. Your body will still demand from you that stuff. If you don't give it, your body will break down. All right, it's good. I mean, it's just natural. And that is why we need to focus. Yeah, nobody's saying that don't go for what you have to do. I mean, everybody should, should be diligent. I mean, it's no brainer that you should, push, you should do all those, but shouldn't be at the expense of your health. For example, somebody wants to go for a meeting. You know that you're going for a 3 days meeting or a 4 days meeting. You pack everything you need to pack and you forget your drugs. And you're hypertensive, you're diabetic. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Or the person is traveling for a week and you forget your drugs. And instead of getting those drugs when he or she gets there, he goes for all the meetings. He refuses to take the drugs. And then maybe the last day, here comes stroke knocking or heart attack knocking. And then someone will say, oh, and he was full of life. Yeah, he was full of life to the extent of, being responsible to maintain that life. It's what you cultivate that will grow and will blossom. If we don't cultivate our health, it cannot blossom. And if there's something wrong with the health, there can be something wrong with every other thing. Because we are alive because of our health. Right? Now, if the health begins to ebb in quality, that person begins to die. It may not die instantly, it may not be, sudden death, but that person also, the quality of life begins to, depreciate, diminish, and the productivity, the achievement also reduces. He can delegate, fine, but the things he wants to do personally, he may not be able to do them. Okay? So it's extremely important. Yeah, high achievers, it's good, but please don't neglect your health. I've had a lot of patients that will say, oh, I forgot my drugs. In fact, what I tell patients is if you are traveling, make sure you go with an extra 1 month, yeah, because look at what happened during 2020, COVID-19. I mean, you're shut down. Anything can happen. You may not come back the day you want to. Maybe, oh, we need to do this, and you have to be there. And you are like, okay, you know what? I'm going to shift my journey by a week, by 2 weeks. If you have only taken the ones that you need for what you have proposed, now you have to add 2 weeks to it. What are you going to do? One of two things. Is either you will not take those drugs, which are not good, or you'll go by, okay? I mean, and if you go out of the shores of our country, what you're going to be buying, at the rate you're going to be buying, will be extremely higher. All right.
That's the price you pay.
That's the price you pay for being nonchalant. Right.
Fantastic. I think one of the things I would like us to discuss, we're going to go on a break shortly. One of the things I'd like us to discuss, we still have the crux of our conversation, which has to do with how we manage immunity during these challenging and stressful times. What I would like us to quickly take a stab at is what attitudes we need to form to change this mindset of always relegating our health and well-being to the background. What needs to change in the world, in the ecosystem of hard-charging, well-driven, achievement-centric human beings who care about building empires, achieving great things, achieving their goals, reaching their fullest potential, but for some reasons pay a price, use their health and well-being as mortgage to secure their dreams. Can we achieve some balance? And I'd like you to hold on to that thought in terms of your response. When we come back, I'll take your thinking on that. Then we shall discuss further on immunity. All right, achievers, doctors' orders. We'll be right back after this break.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? Do you forget your points? Are you shy and need confidence? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical training in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Welcome back. It's still Doctor's Orders here on the Achievement Channel. And I've been having this very meaningful, insightful, and impactful conversation with Dr. Akinsoya Olusegun Joseph from the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Welcome back, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
And I was trying to find out from you, what is responsible for this disconnect between the overwhelming quest for dreams and goals and achievements at the expense of health and well-being, and what needs to change? Because this is going to be your doctor's orders to high-achieving people who seem to be so consumed by wanting to build their empires, by wanting, like Alexander the Great, to think that how do I put it down? To think that a whole, let me borrow the Nigerian expression, a whole Alexander the Great, from what we've read, historical accounts, died as a result of malaria. If I'm correct, Doctor. Think about it. A young man that had achieved so much, conquered the whole world, and wept for more worlds to conquer. And it took malaria to send him to his grave. And yet, he had so much potential to do more. That should be warning bells to high achievers. How do you speak to such individuals to never mortgage well-being for accomplishment, to strike that balance?
Fine. So the first thing I will say is prioritize your health. It is extremely important. You are drawing from it to do whatever you have to do. It's like, your account, you're drawing from it. All right. So, if you don't have an holistic view of it, an holistic grasp of it, you can allow it to slip by. So we need to prioritize our health. And when we say prioritize our health, whatever is going on, you need to keep thinking about your health. All right? There are people that they're not feeling too well. Today it's headache, tomorrow is this, the next time is this, and they don't want to go see the doctor. They won't even check their blood pressure. And these are very simple things that can be done.
And vital too.
Yeah. And then this person will just say, no, we're going for this, we're doing this, we're doing that. And before you know it, something will just crumble and everything is suspended. Everything is grounded. Sometimes it can lead to fatality, and then people begin to cry, oh, he was a nice man, or he was a nice woman. But he neglected or she neglected her health. So we need to prioritize our health. And what I mean by that is this: while you're doing everything you need to do, whatever will help you to maximize your health, you've got to give to it. So number one, you've got to eat well-balanced diet, not junks. A lot of people take junks because they don't have the time to sit down and take very healthy meals. The order for this is either meat pie or this, processed food and all of that, and then the sodas. We need to de-emphasize this. Many people, it will surprise you, don't take water. All right? They're on the go. They just feel that, I've not eaten today. I need some energy. Can you get me this soft drink? Can you get me this? Can you get me 5 Alive? Can you get me this and that? Meanwhile, we can actually do this. We can get these things fresh ourselves. Now, a lot of people talk about the fact that, our forefathers, where even at old age, they're still very strong. Why is it that, some, patients will come to me and say, doctor, I'm just 60 and my father is almost stronger than I am. Okay, your father did not live your kind of life. More.
But your father too did not accomplish.
Yeah, your father did not. Yeah, your father. Very true. We need to strike the balance. Your father did not accomplish as much as you've done, but your father, did not live your kind of life. All right, in the sense that, there's room for rest when it is needed. Okay, there's room for adequate rest. There's room for bonding with the family. There's room for a lot of things that we take as leisure nowadays. All right, so we need to prioritize our health, and we need to look at what we eat, what we drink, We need to, give emphasis to rest. Not that, you should, those kind of people won't lazy around anyway, but you should still give time for rest. Sleep is extremely important. It resets our body. Some people don't have time for it. We need to do that. We need to make sure that, anyone that is treating one medical condition or the other, make sure you give it some, attention. In short, give it the utmost attention. If you are hypertensive, please check your vitals and take your drugs regularly. If you are diabetic, same thing, check your blood sugar and take your drugs, and abstain from things that will make the control to go bizarre. Okay, these are things that we need to do. And then go for your regular checks, the annual checks. Go for it. Discuss with your doctor. Very, very important. These are things we need to do. And then you need to exercise. Many people don't have time for it anymore. I'm trying to to carve out 5 minutes for myself. No, exercise, it's not for me. But
what about those whose work day by day carries sufficient activeness?
Right.
Do those ones still need to exercise?
Fine. So those who have a lot of activities in it, stress hormones are there to put your body, to put it under pressure, so to speak, under more pressure other than the physical activity. So instead of you benefiting maximally from your physical activity and your physical exertion, it will be reduced by the intertwine or the interplay of the stress hormones.
Well, that's quite revealing, and I think I have to make some changes personally, because I've often reasoned that if I'm very active at work day by day, it should de-emphasize the fixation on actually going out to do exercises. But now I see that there's a difference in terms of the stress factor that goes with while working and staying active, and the more relaxed
type exactly
that goes with actually the leisurely dimension to it, where you get into a gym or you actually exercise using some of those equipment, making out time for yourself to sort of recreate while you work out.
Right.
That's quite something to take. Now let's move on with... All right, thank you very much for that, Doctor. Now before you leave, this is a very important question, and I know we will have an exclusive episode to discuss it in totality. But let's just hear from you of how, what's the question again? My head is, how we can boost, I want to catch it very well. How can we boost our immunity and stay healthy during this stressful time? Okay, so let's hear from you about how we can boost our immunity. I'm talking about high achievers, and stay healthy in these stressful times. And we are in very stressful times, especially in this country. And the stress or the stressors, I hope I'm right, use that word, the stressors are becoming more and more significant, especially for high achievers who see themselves pushing even harder this time, in these moments, in order to achieve their goals. How can we boost our immunity, or how can high achievers boost their immunity and stay healthy? Your 3 take-homes, your 3 orders, Doctor.
All right, fine. So I'll say number 1, make sure you eat healthy. You become what you eat. Make sure you eat healthy. And that is talking about, the balance that we were taught in our biology and the rest, with more emphasis on fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
A lot of people don't do that. And then we need to de-emphasize the intake of sodas, of processed food, processed meal, and all of those. We need to de-emphasize them. All right? So instead of going for the pizzas, the this, the that, high calorie, high fat diet and score, we de-emphasize them and go for very healthy meals.
Okay.
Very, very important.
That's one.
2, we need to make room for exercise.
exercise. You need to exercise. There is no way out of it. You want to be healthy. You want to stay, refreshed and cool. Give some time for exercise. Number 3, you need to rest. Okay. I know that is very difficult to prescribe to somebody who say,
it's
I've
driven.
not done this, I've not
Super
done
driven
this.
people.
Yeah, but you need to rest because really, if the body breaks down, sometimes it just recoils and you're like, you are hoping and praying. Let me survive this. Let me survive this. You can imagine somebody who, right in the middle of something, suffers a stroke and then loses one. You can imagine the trouble.
That's the end of all the dreams, all the quests, to achieve greatness.
If he's able to survive it, fine. But then there will be damage.
Damage, that's right.
So please let us do that. Balanced diet.
Balanced diet, exercise, and rest. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Doctor. I am sure those orders will be taken to heart by all of our wonderful high achieving men and women watching the Achievement Channel. And we truly appreciate your coming to the show. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you very
me.
much. Truly a pleasure.
Thank you.
There you have it. Those are your doctor's orders. This is the Achievement Channel. We do not take health and well-being for granted. It is a serious issue, very important in the total quest towards success and high accomplishment. Remember them, and God willing, next time when we come back, you get to learn a lot more to keep your health optimal in order to achieve at the highest possible level. My name is Ubong Essien, Nigeria's Mr. Motivator, asking you to please stay healthy.
Hello, Lagos. I am Oyin Priye Krumale, and this is Achievement Channel. Today we are out in the bustling commercial district here in Lagos to talk about a skill we all use daily, whether we realize it or not, and that is communication. From the boardroom to the busy marketplace, public speaking shapes how we interact with one another, how we carry out business.